Hey, this is Mandy with Amanda Says, and I wanted to talk to you about sex. I'm doing a 5-part series. Part 3 is all about sex, baby. All about you. The question was simply, is your sex life what you thought it would be? Did all your hopes and dreams and unicorns and rainbows and bubblegum clouds come true? I was raised in the church, and when I was in youth group, my youth group was like obsessed with sex. It was a time when books were coming out like True Love Waits, conferences, Love Waits, and I Kissed Dating Goodbye. Don't do it until you put a ring on it. It was just like we were inundated with sex, but we weren't supposed to have it. In True Love Waits, the conference is all about true love waiting. And they give you a little card. It's like a business size card, and it's pink. And you sign it, and it's like a little contract. So I signed it, and kept it in my wallet, and it was my pink card. Yeah, there's the black card, and then the green card. I'm not supposed to play the black card. Wait, I think there's 3 rules. Keep your pink card on you. Don't play the black card, and don't marry someone for a green card. It wasn't necessarily like if you got, like pulled over or something, you'd be like, I have my pink card. Don't I get discount? So anyway, I had this card. And for me, I was going to, I was probably like 16 when I kissed dating goodbye. And I was going to get married when I was like 22 and have lots of babies. And so who cares if I had to wait a couple years? I am not 22. Also, when I was in a youth group, we had a guy come to our church, and his name was Mr. No Sex. And the end. You're welcome for that story. And he wore a fluorescent pink shirt that in black letters said Mr. No Sex. And it's fairly safe to say that most everybody in our youth group was having more sex than Mr. No Sex. So, sorry, Mrs. No Sex. I think you probably knew that was, you changed your name. And he asked for volunteers, and of course, like, no one was gonna raise their hand. You can only say like herpes and chlamydia and how do I not know any other STDs? Gonorrhea. So many times before kids are like, no, I'm never volunteering for anything you say. I volunteered, and he had a plate full of chocolate. I like chocolate, you know. And he goes, "Why don't you go ahead and before we start or whatever, have some chocolate." And it looked like little Hershey's squares. Ate them, and then he told me to go sit down. I think he might have asked me like, "Do I like chocolate? How much do I like it?" And but there are not many high school girls with any bit of like meat on their bones gonna stand up in front of a bunch of other high school kids and be like, "I love chocolate." I did that later. Ate my feelings. So anyway, he said, "Well, I just have to tell you that that wasn't chocolate that I gave you. That was chocolate covered X-Lax, or it was chocolate X-Lax." Really? And I'm like, did I sign a waiver? There are enough things in youth group that will give you diarrhea, like, everything. I mean, like in high school gave me diarrhea. I was like a nervous wreck all the time. I volunteered for this. So he's like, sex is kind of like chocolate. I just wondered if that's why I like chocolate so much as an adult. I need some chocolate. So anyway, he goes, the chocolate was really good, and it looked good, and she really wanted it. And so she reached out and took it, ate it, consumed it. We got the analogy like right away. Like we're kids, but we are not, idiots. You wanted it, you got it, and now what do you have? And everyone's like, diarrhea, cramps. He's like, no, like STD. You know, I don't know much about sex at this point, you know, as a like 16-year-old pink card holder, but dang it, I'm fairly certain that chocolate does not cause gonorrhea, chlamydia, and herpes. If so, Valentine's Day and like Easter are like completely shot for me. Thanks, Mr. No Sex. Thanks.